Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today's video that is going to focus on Fuelcell, who today announced their quarterly report. As we can see, the share is down with 5.26% as we are speaking. In pre-market it was actually down with 12%, and when the market opened around 8%, so actually it has settled back just a little bit compared to the beginning. What we can see is, since its heights in the beginning of the year, the share price have tumbled down. It had a bit of momentum over the past week, which seems to now have been broken today with the decline in the share price. And we're going to explain to you in the video why this is the case. If we take a look at the financials and the forecast for the EPS that was before the announcement today, there was an expectation of a loss of 0.0375 per share. However, the actual was actually minus 0.15, so considerably worse than expected. And similar revenue, there was an expectation of around 24 million, and Fuelcell only delivered 15 million. This means that the revenue had decreased by 9% year over year. And one of the reasons for that was that the service and license revenue had a year-over-year decline of 12%, and also the generation revenue segment had a 10% decline year-over-year, which was due to a temporary shutdown in a fuel cell project plan that they have in Bridgeport in connection with the scheduled module exchange. So again, the results that they delivered today was not really in expectations with the market, and that's why the share price is falling today. Again, this is nothing new. Unfortunately, this is kind of like a recurrent trend with Fuelcell. They have the tendency to not deliver in accordance with the expectations. If we take a bit of a long-term look on Fuelcell's revenue and net income development, what we can see is that over the past 6 years, the revenue have declined significantly from $155 million a year to $69 million in 2020. Obviously, a growth from 2019, but nothing really significant. At the same time, if we look at the net income, it went down from minus 37 million all the way to almost $100 million again in 2020. So again, revenues have been declining and the losses have actually grown. Obviously, part of this can be due to significant investment in capex, etc. So it does not tell the full story. However, it tells a story of a company that has challenges in growing their revenue and making themselves profitable. As we've mentioned in some of our other fuel cell videos, they actually have a quite decent backlog. But also one of the problems that Fuelcell is having is that the backlog is not really growing. And again, if we look at from the Q1 2020 to the Q1 2021, there has been a drop in the backlog, which means that they have not been able to replenish from a revenue perspective the projects they're executing. So again, some people will say, yeah, but it's good they're executing projects. Well, again, revenue is still declining and they're not getting sufficient amount of projects in again, and that's obviously a bit of a concern here for us. At the same time, one of the positives that they have obviously taken the opportunity via the uptrend in the share price to raise some more equity, which is good. They have the balance sheet at the moment around 200 million. However, the issue that we're also seeing is that they're burning around $100 million a year. So if this continues in the future, well, Fuelcell will definitely need to go to the market again and raise more cash, and obviously that will dilute shareholder value, so that is something that you should be aware about. So is it all bad news for Fuelcell? No, one of the light points, at least in our opinion, is that they're advancing their joint research with ExxonMobil in regards to the fuel cell carbon capture solutions, which could see tremendous growth in the future. I think this is the golden egg for Fuelcell in the future. I have not too much confidence in the current systems because they just haven't proven so far that economically it makes sense to go with it. But carbon capture is definitely an important ingredient in the renewable space in the future. And it's in very early days, so again, it will take quite a few years before we are seeing any of that. But this is definitely one area where they, together with ExxonMobil, can decide distinguish themselves from some other companies. So that's going to be quite interesting to follow. But again, it's for the future. It's beyond 2022 at least. Then again, they have some targets for 2022. They want to grow their generation portfolio with 100%. That is obviously good. On the revenue growth, they expect double-digit compound annual growth rate. Again, a little bit conservative in our opinion. We would like to see a bit more firm statement of higher growth, basically, because double digit, if it's 10%, it's nothing, basically. So we would like to see something more firm from them. And then they adjusted EBITDA, where they expect to deliver positive adjusted EBITDA by 2022. So again, that would obviously be positive. Then they also have some future goals, and here we must admit we're not 100% sure whether that relates to 2020 or it's beyond that. We guess it is beyond 2022, but we stand corrected if somebody has listened to the earnings calls and this one mentioned. But that is basically positive EBITDA, positive free cash flow, deliver return on invested capital, revenue growth from commercialization of our hydrogen and carbon capture platforms and carbon separation and utilization applications, and achieve grid parity pricing. And definitely the first 2 points are extremely critical. And it was one of the criticisms that we had with Fuelcell when we investigated a bit more detail with them. That was that we had concerns whether the management actually ever believed that they would become profitable at all or not. This is something that some other companies like Plug Power seems to be much more focused on achieving in the future, while as Fuelcell it was a little bit more vague. So based on what we have seen today from Fuelcell, what is our perspective? Has it changed on them? And unfortunately, what we will say is no, it has not. They're still struggling to deliver consistent good results, and this company is not new. It has been around for quite many years. We're also a little bit concerned that they don't expect high growth. Double-digit compound annual growth rate. We would like to understand how much that is. Is that 10, 20, 30? Because we would expect for the kind of industry that they're in, and with the small revenue that they're having on an annual basis, that you should see quite significant increases in that regards. And that's just not something that they have been able to deliver. At the same time, profitability, when is that? That is a bit unclear to us. The cash is insufficient if cash burns persist. In our opinion, they're very dependent on the CCU technology development with Exxon, which we still don't fully understand in the relationship, how much equity each one of them has and how it will work if they commercialize it. But again, it's still something that we think is a key focus if Fuelcell is going to have success in the future. And overall, we still think they are overly considerable overvalued, and there basically are better picks in the market for hydrogen stocks. We would stay clear from Fuelcell if it was, and we would rather pick somebody else. Again, people may disagree, but that's just our opinion based on the results that we are seeing from Fuelcell over the past few years. Please keep in mind that we are not professional financial advisors, and this is only done for entertainment purposes. We really hope you enjoyed this first video of today. Please subscribe for future content. Please give us a like, it really helps with the algorithm. And please leave a comment in the comment section. Do you think we have missed something? Do you disagree with us? Do you think Fuelcell has a bright future ahead? Please let us know. We always like to hear your opinion. Besides that, there's not much more to say than stay safe. Have a nice day. Hasta la vista, baby.